Hello and welcome. My name is Felicia Messina-D'Haiti, and today I will be talking with you about elevating your environment and how you can use Feng Shui to transform your space. And I'm just so excited to be here with you today. First, I'd like to share with you a quote by the creator of the feng shui system that I use, and her name is Denise Lin. And this is the quote that I just absolutely love. A home is more than a place to lay your head and seek comfort from the elements. It is a crossing point in time and space that can attract energy or repel energy. Your home can be a place of renewal and hope. It can be a sanctuary within which you can retreat and recharge. So, today we're going to be talking about you and your home. We are going to explore some simple feng shui adjustments that you can make in your space, why it's important to think about your relationship with your space, and how you can make simple changes. And I'll go through like a couple processes that you can do on your own to help you to connect better with and make some changes in your space. So, a little bit about me. I first discovered that feng shui was a thing around 2007. Although, when I look back on my life, I find that, as a child, I was always changing the furniture in my room, moving things around. I was always looking for spaces that felt comfortable and relaxing, and always changing like artwork and painting and things like that in spaces. And so in 2007, I was at a women's retreat. And at the retreat leader said she wanted everybody we were doing an exercise on life purpose. She asked everybody to make a list of things that they were interested in or that they enjoyed doing. And so there were things on my list like interior design, art history, photography, but there were also things like numerology, astrology, yoga, um, oracle cards. And so I was like, there is not going to be a thing that has all these things together. And so I started doing searches on the internet, and this one thing kept coming up. It was this interior alignment feng shui school. And I'm like, what's that? And so I kind of looked into it, and then I looked at some other things, and I found, clutter clearing, space clearing. There were all different kinds of feng shui schools that were out there. But this one like interior alignment school kept coming back. And I'm like, okay, let me check this out. So I checked it out. I found a teacher, an amazing teacher, and that started my journey, my formal journey and studies into feng shui. And so after that happened, it kind of opened up a new world for me. Like I had already learned Reiki, but then like from the feng shui and space clearing, I started studying with Denise Lin for soul coaching. I did coaching, gateway dreaming. There are like all these classes that I've started taking because it just opened up this world of like energy work and healing and how we relate to all the things in our environment, seen and unseen. And so I just think feng shui is a wonderful way to connect with your space and to really empower you. Like you can decide what you want to invite into your home, what you want to surround yourself with in your space, and how you want your space to look and feel. And so, a lot of times people talk about manifesting and, deciding what you want to manifest and tapping into the feelings. Well, it's the same kind of thing with feng shui where, I prefer when I work with my clients to first set an intention for what they desire to create in their lives. And once we have that intention and we focus on like the feelings that are attached to those intentions, then we look at making specific changes in their spaces that can help to support what they want to bring about in their life. So when you look at your home, think about like, how do you view your home? It could be viewed as a connection to you, as an extension of you. It's definitely a mirror of your mindset and emotions. So, whatever you're thinking and feeling, you tend to arrange your space to kind of confirm the beliefs and emotions that you already hold. So when you're looking to make changes in your mindset or the way you feel or what your goals, intentions, making changes in your space can help to support what you desire to achieve in your life. And so our homes are really a mirror of our subconscious mind, and they definitely support what we want to achieve in life. When you think about connecting with your home and kind of seeing like, okay, what's going on here? Um, there's some questions that you can ask yourself. So one question is, if a stranger were to walk into my home right now, what would they think about the person that lives there? Like, what story am I telling about my life, my beliefs, just by the way I arrange my space? If you picked any room in your house, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, any room, and said that, this room would tell the story of my life, like, what is the story that's being told here? And then another question you can ask yourself is, if your home were to represent a biography or autobiography, for you, what would the theme be? So a lot of times we, because we're in our space all the time and we live there are a lot of things that can kind of blend into the background, or it's been there so long, we just don't notice it anymore. And, taking a fresh look at what exactly, have I invited into my space, and where do I put it, and how easy is it get to, and does it work, and things like that. And just looking at the flow of where things are placed in your home can really tell a lot. And it can help us to really dive deeper into questions about our mindset and our emotions. Our spaces also shape our identity. So these things that we invite into our space, and when I say things we invite into our space, it's all the stuff. So whether it's the books or certificates or artwork or clothes, like whatever it is, it's the stuff we have, by purchasing it and bringing it into our home, it's like we've invited it in. So think about, what are the things you've purchased, that people have gifted you, that you've accepted. Um, what are all these things in your home? Where have you put them? How do you care for them? Are they, is everything like shoved under the bed or in a corner or in the attic? Or is it like out for display in an honorable place? You also want to think about the fact that all these things, particularly artwork, is always giving us messages about who we are and what we think about the world. So, the saying goes, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So what pictures and images do you have in your home, and how do they make you feel, and what messages are they giving you? So for example, if one of your goals is to be in a loving, joyful relationship, but then everything you have in your home is a representation of one vase or one uh, I don't know, bird in a picture or one flower. It's all one, one, one. You're reinforcing the energy of oneness, of singularity. So think about like what goals do you have in life and how are they represented in areas in your spaces? And so we also want to think about how do we express our personality, our beliefs, our history, and our possibilities with the things in our space? If our spaces are so full of things that kind of tie us to the past and keep us in the past, like if you want to move to a new career, if you want to start a new business or move on to the next stage in your life, but you're holding on to so many things that are from your past, then you're kind of anchoring your energy in that past energy and not moving forward into all the possibilities that you could create. So, what exactly is feng shui? Um, Many people that I've come into, many people I've talked to, like sometimes they think it's like a religious thing or that it's like you have to change your beliefs to believe in feng shui. But really, feng shui is just a system of arranging your space. It literally means wind and water. And so it is the like science and art of placing buildings and objects. Most of what most people know about feng shui has come from like ancient Chinese feng shui because these were the first writings of feng shui and the first like written like kind of rules and guidelines of feng shui come from that culture. But every culture on the earth, every ancient culture developed their own system of feng shui based on the environment they lived on. So, like, where was the best place to put your house? Are you near a stream? Are you protected from the weather? Are you protected from your enemies? Like, just looking at like how we relate to our homes. My mom, when I was growing up, every season would change all the colors in the house. She would, every spring, summer, winter, fall, we would have the change of the curtains, the change of the tablecloths, the change of the stuff. And, growing up, I was just like, what in the world is she doing? But then I realized that she was connecting with like the energy of the seasons and the cycles. And this too is part of feng shui. Like, how do we relate to the greater environment? How do we relate to the earth? And how do we bring elements of the seasons and just the like understanding the cycle of life and how do we represent that in our home? Because, just as the seasons change, the angle of the sun changes, the cycles of the moon, it always in flux, always in change. We are also always changing and growing and go through our own cycles throughout our lives. And so this understanding of like connecting with nature and with the cycles of life was one of the things that really attracted me to the interior alignment instinctive feng shui studies that I completed. And there are many schools of feng shui. Just as I said, every ancient culture has their own feng shui with their own way it developed in the culture and the way that that they relate to their environment. And what I really love about the studies for instinctive feng shui and interior alignment is that it honors all of the development of feng shui in all cultures. And so we pull in wisdom from different ancient cultures. It's kind of like the best of feng shui from different areas, and really looking at how does each person really connect and thrive in their environment. So, recommendations for one person might be slightly different from another because we're really looking at how do you as a person and your personal energy relate to your space and your environment around you. And so that's one of the things I really loved about the interior alignment studies. And when I did start studying interior alignment, I realized that everything I had talked about that was on my list, even down to the yoga, because my Feng Shui teacher that I studied in person with was also a yoga teacher. Every single thing that I had put on that kind of list that I didn't know I was going to find, a thing for, was part of my Feng Shui studies. And so when we look at our homes, when I work with clients, the very first thing we do is set an intention. And so an intention kind of focuses the energy and it allows you to get clear on, what exactly is it that I want and how do I want this represented in my space? And so we do a lot of work with intention and we create an intention statement that will be the intention statement for how do I relate to my home. And so when we do this, when we create this intention statement, it we're going to focus on what you desire, not the how. And we're going to tap into like what emotions you want associated with this experience. So you're looking at what experience do you desire to have in your home? Do you want it to be a peaceful place? Do you want it to be a place where you feel loved? Do you want it to be a place where you feel abundant? Where you experience freedom or creativity or healthy relationships? Like, what is it that you want to focus on, and how can we put that into that energy into your home space so it supports what you desire in your life? And a lot of times people might not know the exact emotion that they want to kind of bring in. So I always suggest looking at, there are these things called feeling wheels. And if you just Google, search on the internet and ask for an emotions wheel or a feeling wheel, there are these really cool wheels that come up with all different like emotions and which ones are related and which ones are more specific. So I suggest looking at that if you want to explore the feelings. And then just write an intention. Like an example of an intention could be, it is my intention to get a job in a more supportive environment. And so that's kind of, in your career area in order to experience joy and optimism. So when you're looking at making changes in your house, you would look at, how can I bring more things into my home that bring me that experience of joy and optimism? And then on the flip side, like, what things do I have in my home that are the opposite of this, that don't represent joy and optimism for me, that maybe I need to release in order to bring in more of what I desire? And so once we have the intention set, there are lots of ways to reinforce intentions. You could do that through affirmations, definitely through Feng Shui, vision boards, intention altars, meditations, visualizations. And the one thing that I recommend as a definite next step in this process of elevating your environment is to clear your clutter. And so clearing your clutter is so important. And I know like people talk about it all the time. Oh, let's clear your clutter. But if you're clearing your clutter and it keeps coming back, then maybe there's some deeper exploration that we could do with that. Because clutter is anything that blocks your energy. And these are things that Starting with physical things, these are things that you don't use, things that are broken, things you have, duplicates of. I mean, if you have a lamp that you really loved, but it's broken and it's been sitting there for like 5 years and you keep saying you're going to fix it, that brokenness of the lamp, that like brokenness energy that's been sitting with you for 5 years kind of outweighs the fact that you used to love the lamp and it's time to release it. With things that are broken, you could always say, okay, if I don't fix this in 6 months, it's got to go. And then make an effort to get it out. Because things that we say we're going to do and we don't do end up being incomplete cycles of action. And that is also clutter in our lives. It's clogging our energy field. And so just think about what you might have in your space that you can release in order to bring in more of what you love. And, first thing you could do, give back things you borrowed, get rid of duplicates, think twice before you buy new things, and ask yourself the question about different objects. Does this really fit who I am? And does this fit the energy of what I want to bring into my life? Does this, if this were to tell a story about me, is it an accurate story? Or is it something that's part of my past or something that's just not relevant anymore that it's time to let go of? So think about, first you have your intention and then look at what are the things in your spaces that really don't represent or are not in alignment with what your intention and what you desire to bring into your life. And so also looking at, do the objects make you feel uplifted? Do they bring you joy? Or are they kind of like you look at it and you're like kind of stressed, depleted, like I really don't want that in my space. So think about, what things you want, what things you don't want, and make time, make a commitment to remove some things that you really don't need or want, or are just not good for you in your space. Think about everything that's in your visual field, every object, every texture, every color, impacts your environment. And really think about how you perceive the objects in your space. Like one thing you could do, if there are a couple exercises you could do to kind of get a different look at your space. One is just going outside, outside your home, and then kind of grounding yourself, getting your mind clear, and then walking into your house through the front door, which is very important to use the front door, because that's the entranceway of fresh energy into your home, also called the mouth of qi in Feng Shui. Walk through that front door and kind of take a fresh look at your home. You could pretend like this is an open house at somebody else's home and you just walk through and kind of see like what stories is this home telling about this person. You could imagine you're on a window shopping trip and also walking through the home. Like, would I buy these things today if they were available at the store if I was shopping? So think about, are these things, the things in your home that you already invited in, are they things that you would invite in today to share space with you? And so, in thinking about this, also notice particular areas of resistance. So are there certain things from your past that you don't want to get rid of? Are there certain things that you think, oh, if I get rid of this thing, I'm going to need it the next day? Well, that's a very popular thought. And a lot of times I have encountered many situations where like somebody has something for like 20 years. Let's say it's the extra blender or something under the sink that they haven't used in years. within days of getting rid of it, you'll find a reason like, oh, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that, that blender because now I need it after 20 years of it just sitting there. Um, it's just our mind's way of kind of reinforcing, oh, don't get rid of anything. But if we think about the opposite of that, it's more like, the question you can ask is, do I trust that the universe will provide for me when I need it? And so when you think about that, you're like, how much trust do I have? How much stuff do I really need to keep just in case? Or can I release these things and kind of welcome in expansiveness, abundance, and trust in the universe? So just think about like when you come up against like different areas of resistance, like what questions can you ask yourself about either the objects or your feelings about the objects to kind of get underneath why you're keeping the clutter. Um, so once we've set our intentions and we've gotten rid of some clutter, oftentimes without even making the feng shui adjustments, um, just moving a couple things or getting rid of a little bit of clutter can make an amazing difference in your home. So, and so can intention setting, because that'll start bringing to you the things that you desire. So once we've set our intentions and we've done the clutter clearing, then we can look at some next steps of making different areas of our homes for making feng shui adjustments. And so, like I said earlier, I'm going to give like general guidelines, but each person as a unique individual has, we each have our own energy, and making adjustments in your house with your energy is something that is an individual, like personal process. Um, and it's great I love it when I can help, when I can support people to do this, because I can, coming in as an outsider, I can see things about other people's homes that they don't see because they're there all the time. But I'm going to go over some kind of general tips and recommendations and areas for you to look at in your home to make adjustments. And so the very first area is the front door. Your front door is, I want to say one of the most important areas of your house. And this is the architectural front door. I know a lot of people, might use their garage door or a side door or some other entrance into their home. But I want you to look at the architectural front door, the intended front door of the home. This is the mouth of chi. You want to make sure that the front door works, that it opens fully without restriction. This is your area where you are welcoming in fresh, new energy into your home. And you always want the energy to be in a state of flow. So it's very important to get new, fresh energy into the space. So you want to make sure the door's locked, that the door is clean, that it's attractive. Like if you think about energy having a personality or having, you want to have your front door be attractive, or else why would energy want to come visit? So you want to think about having the area clutter free. Can people easily see the house number? You just want to, you might want to put a wreath on the door or have something attractive there so that it feels welcoming and loving as an entrance and supportive. Another space to look at could be your living room. So living rooms tend to be like the heart of the home, in the sense of like it's a community space. Um, what do you use your living room for? Like, is it a space for the family to gather? Is it where you hang out and watch TV or play games, or, what happens in this space? And is the space set up to make it easy for these things to happen? Do you have a fireplace in there? Is it used? Do you have beautiful objects or a mirror like near the fireplace? Is it crowded? Do you feel like you're always like bumping into furniture or tripping over things, or is there stuff on the floor? Like, how can you space out the furniture so it kind of, you can flow through the space without any difficulty? And you want to definitely make sure there's enough lighting that because feng shui is a all dimensional experience. So what do you smell in the space? Is it a pleasant smell? Do you need to use essential oils to kind of infuse a different scent into the space? What are the images that you have in the space? And is the furniture comfortable? So when you come in and sit down, are you comfortable? Because if you're not comfortable, that kind of depletes your energy in a different way. And taking a look at the kitchen. So kitchens are spaces that are associated with abundance, with health, with nourishment. So how are you being nourished in your home? Is it light and airy? Can the energy circulate in the space? Are the counters clear? What about your stove? Stoves represent good fortune. And so keeping your stove clean and working smoothly is very important to the energy of abundance, as is kind of rotating the burners that you use. So you don't want to always use the same burner all the time. As the cook, if you're the cook or whoever the cook is, the cook should always feel safe and calm in the space. So is it a space that you feel safe moving around in? Again, are you bumping into things or having difficulty finding things? Like, how can you arrange the space arrange your things in the space so that you can easily reach the things that you use most often? And take a look at, is your stove near the sink or the refrigerator? So generally, we also in feng shui, we also look at how the elements are balanced in the space. So how is air, water, fire, and earth elements balanced in the space? And so when you have something like a stove, which is fire element, and then you have like a sink or refrigerator next to it, which is like water element, like the water kind of puts out the fire of the abundance. So you want to see, can you put, even an image of earth or something in between? So you kind of separate and balance the elements out more. With your stove also, there are some people put, how you have a black backsplash behind the stove, putting something back there that reflects the burners, because mirrors always reflect out and amplify whatever is in the mirror. So if you're reflecting and amplifying the fire and the burners, that's reflecting and amplifying your abundance. So looking at bathrooms, you want to make sure your bathroom is like a spa-like environment where it's nourishing, it uplifts your energy, gives you a feeling of calmness. You want that to be like a very kind of luxurious space for you. And luxurious doesn't always mean expensive, it can be inexpensive and luxurious. It's all about how you feel in the space and what you prefer in your space. And so when we think about the bedroom is, considering how much time we should sleep, getting a healthy amount of sleep, and the bedroom represents our innermost selves. It's a place of relaxation. It's a place of nourishment. It's a place of just rejuvenation. So you want to make sure the bedroom is clear of clutter, that your bed is up against a strong wall in the space, so you want to feel supported behind you, that you don't have a lot of windows and doors like right around you, because that's where like energy will pass, and you want the energy to be calm. And you just want to think about, what is the last thing I see before I turn out that light and go to sleep? What's the last thing I see? And in the morning when I wake up, what's the first thing that I see? And if that is not something inspirational and something that really gets you fired up to do what's next in life, then maybe shift around what is the first thing that you see when you wake up in the morning, so that it is something that is supportive and loving, and that just gets you excited to jump into the day. So there are things. So in Feng Shui, there are lots of different things that we could do to make shifts in the environment. And they could either be called, some people call them cures, some people call them enhancements, but they're just things that can be placed in the space, most of which you probably already have, to just make the energy flow a little bit better and to make the space more supportive. And so things like crystals, a lot of times I'll hang crystals in the windows, crystals, bright things. Sound is a great enhancer. So just by playing a particular kind of music in a space can change the energy and mood in a space. And so living objects, so plants, pets, all of that can enhance our the energy in our spaces. And with plants, I have a lot of people ask me questions about plants. And can you use fake plants? Well, yes. So having an artificial, dusted, very nice looking plant is a much better energy enhancer than having a half dead plant in the space. So if you're not good with plants, it's okay. You can, still get some artificial plants, and that will enhance the energy in the space. Colors definitely change the energy in your space. You think about like the color wheel and the warm colors. So the reds, oranges, and yellows are colors that are more like vibrant and active. And then you think about the cool colors on the color wheel, the purples, blues, violets. Oh, I said violet. What did I miss? Green. Green. And those colors are more calming. And so just think about like what kind of energy do you want in the space? Do you want a space that's going to be really vibrant, a lot going on, like maybe a kitchen, or as opposed to a bedroom where it's more calming and still energy? And again, like scents, sound, moving things, putting up chimes or just playing music or a mobile in a space can help shift the energy. There are a lot of things that you can do to shift the energy in a space. And so think about, are you ready to start? So are you ready to begin shifting the energy of your space and creating a space that is supportive and really amplifies the goals that you've set for yourself? So if you're ready to begin, go ahead, set your intention, do some clutter clearing, and start moving the things that you've chosen to keep in the space, then move those things around and make adjustments there to create a wonderful environment for yourself. And so if you need support with that, of course, I'd be happy to help. So you could just reach out to me on my Facebook page or my website, which is www.felicia.com. And if you go to the my website and the web address that's on the screen, I have and it's abundance gift set for you. And in this gift set, there is a meditation to help you connect to the energy of your home. And there's also a PDF that kind of goes through some different steps that you can take to specifically bring more abundance into your home. And so if you connect with that, you'll also get my newsletters. And on my website, you could see I have an evergreen course on elevating the energy in your home. And I also teach Feng Shui certification classes now. So I'm a master teacher, teach Feng Shui certification classes, space clearing certification, clutter coach certification, and Reiki and soul coaching as well. So please, I'd love to connect with you. And I hope you found the tips in my talk today very helpful and that it's something that you can go ahead and get started with in making shifts in your own life.